Hello, how you all doing? Him here, James. A bit heavy breathing, bit of a thing. So this is just going to be a video about my addictions and what I was actually addicted to. And this stems from I'm seeing a lot of people. Obviously, this format has existed for a long time. Journaling your journey, sobriety journey. It's part of the steps program if you do the steps program and things like that. But it came from a joke I made with my aunt earlier, talking about how I'm seeing people who have give up, broccoli, and I'm gonna have to use codes for all this because some of my stuff's been demonetized due to you know what I mean, talking about rugs. I call them rugs. Um, and I've noticed that people have, started giving up the broccoli, and they're on like day 30, and their channel's already got like 15,000 followers and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Which I'm so happy for them. I'm in competition with nobody. I'm doing this purely for myself. But you know what I mean? I made the joke like, well, I'll give up the flipping class A's here. You know what I mean? I'll give up 30 years of class A's. Oh, not 30 years of class A's, but you know what I'm saying? So I just thought people might not actually know what my addictions were, what I've done since a young age. Do you know what I mean? And basically, so yeah, I'm going to lay it all out. It's going to be not embarrassing because I'll tell you my story from start to finish. Obviously, I went through some trauma and that when I was younger, got passed around the family and things like that. So from an early age, after school and stuff, I'd try and buy bottles of vodka or white lightning and sneak a drink. We'd go over the common, we'd go over round the back of the rave and things like that, the glebe, all that drinking, as kids do, just having fun, kids. As soon as I first knew how to play with myself, should I say, I think I developed an unhealthy addiction to corn. We have to call it corn, don't we? You know what I mean? Stay up, watch Babe Station, all of that, record the 10-minute free views. I had tapes. I'd fill up tapes of corn that I'd have, you know what I mean? Back when we had VHS and things like that. When I was 15, I started smoking broccoli, and that just become a daily thing. But obviously, that opened my mind to a lot of things, philosophy, stuff like that. And then I just became a wreckhead in general. But I could always recreationally use like class A's and stuff, whether it was snow, whether it was you know what I mean, ecstasy, things like that. I could go to raves or I could go to parties, and I could just take it or leave it really, and then I'd just smoke all week. You know what I mean? When I moved up north to Bingo, I dislocated my shoulder. Well, I dislocated my shoulder in Birmingham, and they'd give me like 6 months worth of painkillers, cocodamols, tramadols, solpadols, baby dolls. We make that joke. Anything that ends in ol, which has paracetamol in, but painkillers, 30 over 500s. My shoulder would come out 2, 3 times a week, and every time I'd go in there, they'd give me a prescription or they'd give me multiple boxes. Obviously, it works different now because they know how addicts operate and stuff. But they'd give me loads of painkillers, and that continued when I went up north to do my management. So I'd get up and I'd do about 16 or 32. I'd built up a tolerance so much that I was doing whole strips or whole boxes a day. I'd do a strip before I got to work, walk down on the way to work, I'd neck a bottle of 70cl vodka, and I'd just keep going through the day. Do you know what I mean? I'd built up my tolerance so much with painkillers and alcohol at that point, and I was smoking an ounce of weed, of broccoli, well, to myself, um, to myself or my girlfriend at the time. You know what I mean? And once again, just kind of like sex addiction and things like that, being a bit of a player, being a bit of a dickhead when it came to girls and things like that. Um, but I've always respected. I always went from if I did cheat on someone or whatever, I always broke it off and then moved. You know what I mean? I well, not being a homosexual because I didn't live with them. You know what I'm saying? But I was a bit of a dickhead in that regard. But once again, that kind of permeated through. And then when I lost my baby when I was 27, my addictions went up a notch. That's when I went on to class A's. That's when most people that are kind of judging me now for my journey knew me from when I was 27 onwards, and I lost my son, Dante, and I started working in the pub game. And obviously the pub game, the snow, it snows like it's snowing now. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I basically just lived on that. And once again, the corn, that brings back the corn addiction. You know what I mean? It's just like do a team for that and fucking lie in a room and just fucking watch filth all night. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the reason why I made this video is, like I said, is people might not actually know. They might just think, what, you smoked a bit of green, or you know what I mean? What, you did a few bags in the week. And then obviously when I started having a baby, I was, you know what I mean? I was spending about 200 quid a week or whatever on that. Just because I felt lonely. Just like now, bored. Like I'd get bored, but now and people say addicts. It's about dopamine in your head, and I've obviously got a dopamine imbalance caused from not either neglect, not getting enough attention, not feeling loved, things like that. Which, you know, I'm dealing with, and I'm going to therapy for. And you know, and that caused me to jump into toxic relationships. And once again, I'm not calling other people toxic. I'm saying the relationship's toxic. I'm toxic for them, they're toxic for me, and vice versa. I'm not saying we're toxic people as individuals to whoever, anybody in my past for the last 30 years. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is just an open and upfront. I just, like I said, why are these sons getting 15,000 bloody things in no time? You know what I mean? Now I get it. It's you know, I'm a nobody, and I've kind of jumped up from nowhere. Like, I've always been into media. Hey, Hemp's Hotbox has been a radio show, online radio show for years and stuff. But I just wanted to kind of, when you see day 72 or day 73, look, what's it from? Is it just from coke and this and that? No, it's not. It's from everything. Like I say, I'm abstinence. I've gone to, when I say about corn addiction, I don't watch it at all anymore. When I do have to release, which you do, I do once a month to a specified person. You know what I mean? So it's a bit mad. Like I said, I'm not embarrassed by it. It is what it is. I've gone a bit red because it is a bit mad opening up. But so yeah, that's kind of what I'm staying abstinent from. When I say total abstinence sobriety, it isn't. It's from cannabis. It's from cocaine. It's from any form of chemical dependency and what can cause that. Like I said, and that's what my total abstinence sobriety is from everything that can cause the demons. You know what I mean? From actual demons to fucking infesting my head and come out into these unhealthy habits. So yeah. Anyway, that's that's a bit about me. Too much information. That's probably going to be the title of this video. So peace, respect, and harmony. Everybody love everybody.